Danish Anand reporting over there on the exit of Samsung from the feature phone business and concentrate on their smartphones. Let's find out more about this, what the ramifications can be, and what has propelled this move, as it were. Nikhil Chawla is joining us. He's the founder of the Unbiased blog. Great to have you with us this evening, Nikhil. But tell us, by way of the market for feature phones, is it really dying? How bad is it that Samsung has decided to exit it completely? And does it mean that others are likely to follow suit within that universe?
I think there are many factors that led to this decision by Samsung. And first of all is absolutely the decimal market value share, 1% out of what they were selling. The overall share of the market is also falling. And we've seen a 39% decline in the need for feature phones in India in the first quarter of 2022. So overall market share has also declined, and Samsung already had like just 1% of market share. And obviously the biggest incentive that propelled it was the PLI scheme, and that really meant the government of India expected multinationals who produce phones that are higher in value from 15,000 rupees, giving Samsung a good reason to just focus on that. And also Samsung saw the best quarter this year, and they really dethroned Xiaomi, which was the number one smartphone in Android segment, by taking their share and getting 22% in the market. That meant their flagship smartphones are selling really well. And also not just flagship smartphones, that they've conquered the 15 to 25,000 market, which is a major market for people who were using smartphones for the first time, or they were just transferring from feature phones to smartphones. So that market Samsung has really captured. And they also had the benefit of, having foldable smartphones in India. Nobody else did it. They had this lead over every other smartphone maker. So the flagship market was conquered by them thanks to all the foldable smartphones they have. Then again, cheaper data in India really made everybody switch from feature phones to smartphones. And a lot of companies in feature phones like the HMT Global and Lava and Transient Holdings tried doing their best to keep this segment alive, but everybody needs a smartphone now. Everybody thinks that the data is cheap, 4G is so cheap, 5G is coming, and when you can do so much in like 10,000 rupees, why get a feature phone? So that market transition has happened, and I think again there are a lot of reasons because of the data boom that we saw, making it world's cheapest data country. Also made people, just get the smartphone, cheap data, and get all the access to all the banking or maps and all. And
Yeah.
then another factor was definitely the pandemic. Pandemic
Ah,
really made people do everything on a smartphone. And
right.
that's when they realized that feature phone is not enough and let's move towards smartphones. And then we saw that really
But one of
propelling
the
it.
reasons, Nikhil, you mentioned yourself, why would someone want a feature phone? It was because of that flip feature that these
Correct.
phones came with. And that was something that
Absolutely.
many of us who've grown up on, some of these series enjoy the entire
Absolutely.
feeling of using a flip phone. But of course, that could be history soon. But also tell me, Nikhil, it's not just India as a market for feature phones. India is also a
Yep.
major export hub for feature phones. They go into Latin America, they go into Africa. What happens to
Correct.
that? Isn't the government keen on keeping this part of the export alive and kicking?
Yes, absolutely. I think government has made sure that it's only the multinationals that get the benefit of producing the PLI scheme if they produce 15,000 and above the value of the smartphone. But if you're a local manufacturer like Lava or other manufacturers, they're very like handful of them. But if you are a local manufacturer, then you don't have to limit yourself with a 15,000 smartphone. It will be challenging for smartphone companies like HMD Global because their major chunk of business is still the feature phone market or the basic phone. Now they have to choose a path between being able to get that PLI scheme or just focus on exporting and selling the feature phone market in India.
Nikhil, if Samsung is exiting this space of feature phones, the one question is, are others going to follow suit? And you answered that. But if there is a considerable market, even if it's an export-oriented market, do you think that others would want to fill in the shoes that now Samsung is kind of getting rid of?
Absolutely. I think there is a lot of scope. I mean, obviously the value is 1%, but the Samsung's share was 20%.
Right.
It's not about just the value. It's about how much volume are you doing. So 20% is a big volume because Samsung being a leader in Android smartphone market is 23%. Now consider that in feature phone, they were 20%. Still not the leader, of course, but this is a big chunk, 20% of the market share. So yes, everybody should be wanting to do that. But again, I feel that it will be the local manufacturer that can really push it. The likes of Micromax, the likes of Lavas, that really can bring along the change and start pushing their exports and maybe also cater to the Indian market.
Well, thanks very much for bringing us perspective on this. I know a whole generation of people who still feel very attached to their feature phones, and saying goodbye to them is going to be a little tough. Samsung being that larger player, I see a lot of them still using them and still wanting to use them. We'll see how they deal with smartphones going ahead. Thanks very much, Nikhil. Appreciate you joining us.
Pleasure. Thank you.